Hey Rob, good to be back.
Yeah, Jim, good to see you. How's everything?
Everything's good. It's actually a little cooler here in Florida today.
Hey, the cooler in Florida. It's down in the 70s.
Cool. It feels like the 60s actually, but it's
Ah,
probably the 70s.
that's frigid. Yeah. Yeah, we cooled off and we're in the 40s now at night, which is perfect. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm good.
Well, when people are listening to this, it's going to be December. We're
Yeah.
closing in on the holidays.
Yeah.
And I thought one of the things I wanted to talk to you about today was an international moving company. What makes a good international moving company? And by extension, a good company for someone to work with, for a family to work with.
Yeah.
Lots of people, right? They do this once or twice in a lifetime. And so you're trying to get all the information that you can to make a decent choice. Lots of things on a person's mind. I'll just turn it over to you so you can explain it better than I can.
Yeah, that's a great headline, overriding, conversation because it's super, super important. And, it sounds salesy, when I'm talking to someone who's like, here's what you need to be looking for. Because I'm going to say you should be looking for a company that starts with an S, has a D and a C, and, you're trying to sell your own company. Um, but really stepping away from that, being totally agnostic and saying, what if I'm moving overseas? It's a big process, right?
Mm,
And clients that I'm working with, or our team is working with, the clients, typically it's a big process to move from Miami or New York or Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, Houston, Chicago, wherever to whichever destination country. There's a lot involved. They're usually selling their house and they're, hoping to, get the close done on time and all these different things and their paperwork and their new place and they get their pet and all these different things. And so to work with a really good international moving company is critical, obviously.
hmm
Um, and so I think what I would tell anyone going through this process is, first of all, be aware of the company that you're engaging with. Are they a broker? And sometimes it's difficult to see if they're a broker or not. They might have a nice name and a nice website and a good logo and come across as, hey, we're the moving company, XYZ International Movers. Um, I hope there's no such thing as XYZ International Movers. If there is, I didn't know that. And what they're really going to do is, give you a great song and dance a little bit and make you feel good. I'll probably shoot you a fairly low price, maybe. They're either going to be very low or very high.
Mm,
And then they're going to have to work with somebody. They're going to have to hire someone else to do the job at a low enough price where they can clear a profit for themselves, a margin for themselves. And so, how does that kind of thing manifest itself? Well, there are brokers, and then there are companies just are real companies, but maybe international moving isn't really their sole business.
yeah.
It could be ABC Movers, which does New York to Chicago, Chicago to Houston. They got trucks or logistics, and they also have an arm that has a different name that does international shipping, but it's really them.
hmm
So the how can working with not a great company manifests itself in several ways. The biggest one, I think, is overall quality, because it's not really what they do. They're going to hire someone else, who knows who, to try and do the job, hopefully at a low enough price. So you get a quality issue to deal with. Then you have a communication issue. If you're dealing with XYZ International Movers, it really is only a website and a person that got on the phone or a Zoom call or something, and you've got to, as a client, you've got to change something. Something's come up, something's going to change. You have a question, any question. The broker may not have the answers because
Mm,
they're not really doing the job. They're going to have to call the person that they hired to do the job, and that company may have hired someone to do the job. So there may be all these different layers.
yeah.
So the communication is critical. And in the logistics, logistics can be a subset of communications, but in the international shipping world, let's assume door to door now, there's a lot going on,
Yeah.
and customs has to be cleared in the destination at the destination port. Certain things that are needed, depending on the country, depending on the shipping vessel, the boat, which we're assuming ocean right now, there are certain rules. And so dealing with a company that really truly does international shipping. They are what I call prime, really doing the work. I'm not saying that SDC owns ocean vessels, don't.
Yeah, yeah,
But
I
for the
understand.
most part, this is what we do. Hopefully that wasn't too long-winded. Did that make sense?
Yeah, it did. I was thinking about a fictitious example. Okay, so let's say, for example, I'm going from the United States to the UK, and the truck comes out. I've already spoke to, let's say, a broker. A truck comes out, people are packing my belongings and everything, goes on the truck and it leaves. I don't see it again now. I'm going to be focusing on getting over to the UK and all the things I have over there.
Right.
Unbeknownst to me, there's an issue with customs. So I could call the broker, and the broker may not have any idea that there's an issue with customs either, right?
Possibly. Yeah.
So he may have to call the moving company. And then, so basically, there can be three or four people in the chain, and I can be in the dark for hours or maybe even more, maybe a day or so, figuring out while what's going on,
Well,
delays.
potentially.
Yeah, potentially.
Potentially. And so if we're looking at the overriding, what to watch out for kind of thing, or what on the positive side, what you want, the more direct, the more prime, the more focused international mover that you would work with if you're moving, the better because of things like the communication, the expertise, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And the company that I'll just speak for SDC, we have an internal logistics department. So once one of our clients books their move from wherever, pick a U.S. country, let's just city to Paris.
Yeah.
We are going to introduce another person from our company, from logistics and support, to then say, okay, we looked at everything. We're going to need this piece of paper. Can you tell us about this? That. We've got your inventory here. There are a couple items that we need to mark. We have to list or whatever it is. And that person then stays engaged with the client proactively and
Hmm.
also to answer questions and, not daily. I'm going to bug the client every single day and say, here's what's going on today. Same as
Yeah.
yesterday. But when we hit milestones, we stay in communication. And it's also that point of that touchstone for the client as well.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. So you're keeping contact with me, let's say, so I feel better that knowing that, okay, this is what's going on. I don't have to worry about it. They're taking care of it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah,
Plus,
that's really important.
you have the volume of people coming through going to, same destinations in Europe basically are very popular, a lot of popular destinations. So I
Mhm.
imagine the people know each other on both sides of the move because they've all been working together for a while.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And, on the other side of the ocean, whether it be Sydney or Cape Town or, London, Paris, you name it, having working with a company that has that direct team in those countries
Yeah.
that know the ins and outs of getting things through customs and, what's necessary so that there are no delays.
Yeah.
You don't want your things pulled aside because there's some issue.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they want to look at it, and that issue could be a month or 2 months, or who knows.
Oh, boy.
Hey, you're going to get charged for that. They're going to say this is storage,
Yeah.
while we investigate why there's you know, a,
Yeah.
a peacock in this shipment. Didn't you know you can't bring, taxidermy items in
Yeah,
the
I
country?
can't bring that.
Yeah, it's good to know ahead of time. So that's really
Yeah. Yeah, there's certain things in life you can, cut corners on. There's other things that just aren't worth it. I definitely understand that now from having lived through a few of those things. And,
yeah,
international move is quite a big project when you think about it. You want people that have the experience and the know-how from door to door to make sure that everything is done the way it should be done.
that's right.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
imagine having new people show up at customs. Oh, a new company. Let's put this stuff aside and take a look.
sometimes that's true. I mean, yeah, that sometimes can be true. And I won't get into detail, but sometimes they say, "Well, who is this?" Well, I'll give you an example. In international shipping, if some U.S. company let's say some company's importing something from, let's say China, and they create a new um, company, or they work with a brand new company for freight forwarding and clearing, and the brokerage company that's going to clear customs in the U on the U.S. side. If the U.S. has never seen that company before, there's a really good chance they're going to pull that container aside and inspect. Because, but if it's a company that's been doing it for a long time, odds are they know that they're not messing around. This is a real
Yeah.
situation. Kind of like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Rob, that's great information. If somebody's watching and they're in that stage of preparing for an international move, what's the next step they take?
Next step is to reach out. They can go on the website and go chat with our team. Go on the website and enter some good information about the move, and someone will get back to them. Some of our relocation specialists will get back. They can reach out to me directly. I mean, I'm always here to, they want to call me, they want to email me, or call the company main line and, push my extension, which is 116, and engage, start the process there, even if it's only to ask questions for now.
Yeah,
Happy to handle that and go from there.
great, great. Well, Rob, good information as always. I'll catch up with you again in the next video.
Sounds good, Jim.
All right.
Bye for now.